for you. Freedom.
Keep your ear to the ground.
Talking about the freedom.
It's the best show in town.
Best show in town. Freedom. Well. Freedom.
I'll give you freedom. Yes, it's right.
Freedom.
Start right now.
Freedom.
Get your freedom tonight.
Freedom. Well. Freedom. This is our time to rise back from the sand and claim our freedom. Talking about the freedom. Let yourself be free.
I give you freedom. Yes, it's right. Freedom. Start right now.
Talking about the freedom.
Get your freedom tonight. Freedom. I give you yes, it's right.
Freedom. Let yourself be free.
Start right now. Freedom. Get your freedom tonight.
Freedom. Well,
Hi, good morning. So good to see you. I'm really glad that y'all are showing up. I have been saying probably no one's gonna show up now. Eoring the whole thing, you know. Surprising for me, I know. But I'm very glad that you're here. And I was fighting with you over the mouse. Sorry. Letting you have it. No.
Sure, the sound is doing. Yeah, you're good.
Are people hearing? Because this always happens where I say a bunch of things and then I find out that it was not on.
No evidence to suggest they're not hearing.
Sweet. It's not very loud. Colby's trying to figure out why it's not very loud. So I'll try to talk louder. Hey Violet. How you doing?
Don't you usually have it. Turn the wrong way? Yeah, turn the wrong way.
I got a little helper this morning. We've got a crew here in person this morning.
Yeah, crew in person crew.
And if you live in San Diego or feel like flying out, come join us over the next few weeks. You're welcome to come hang. It's fun to have people in here. It's a different energy and it feels good. It feels good to have you here, Violet. You want to say hi? You hi to Mama. Hey, last week we announced that this thing is wrapping up. October 30th is our last Sunday, and I just really appreciate the showing up anyway. Still doing this thing, leaning all the way in, all the way to the very end. And I just wanted to say that I'm really glad that you're here doing this with us. It still means, see, we're getting the can't hear Kate comments.
No,
It's old? Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, see, my fears were founded. Anyway, leaning all the way in to the very end is really important to me. This thing still matters to me just as much as it always did. Just because we know something is ending does not take away its value right to the very end. And so I'm really glad that you're here, that we can keep connecting. And also, we're still going to exist as humans and as a collective of humans and as people who have grown through this thing and become something together. And so I hope we still show up in all kinds of different ways for each other after October 30th. I just wanted to say that this morning, that we don't cease to exist as a thing that we created. Everything we did together continues to be. And we're just really glad that you've been a part of it and that you're here now. Love you. Violet, should we go?
Shepherd's hook comes out and yanks her.
Well, all my favorite people are broken. Believe me, my heart should know.
Yes, it should.
And some prayers are better left unspoken. I just wanna hold you and let the rest go. Whoa.
And all my friends are part saint and part sinner. Yeah, we lean on each other and try to rise above. We're not afraid to admit we're all still beginners. Yeah, we're all late bloomers when it comes to love.
Don't my favorite people are broken. Believe me, my heart should know. Orphan believers, skeptical dreamers, step forward. You can stay right here, don't have to go. Is each wound you've received just some burden, some gift? It gets so hard to lift yourself up off the ground. Well, but the poet says we must praise a mutilated world. We're all working the same graveyard shift. You might as well sing along.
Sing along.
Sing along.
Sing along.
'Cause all my favorite people are broken. Oh, believe me, my heart should know. Your tender heart, this world's gonna rip it wide open. It ain't gonna be pretty, oh no, but you're not alone. Because all my favorite people are broken. Oh, believe me, my heart should know. Orphan believers, skeptical dreamers, you're welcome. Yeah, you're safe right here. You don't have to go. No, no, no. Some prayers are better left unspoken. I just wanna hold you and let the rest go.
Yay, that's fun. You guys are fun. I knew that I was going to start talking, Ben was going to go somewhere, but I genuinely didn't know if he was going to go up or if he was going to go around. So I was like really braced for someone to climb up behind me.
You felt that change happening before.
There's the speaker doing a thing. But anyway, hi, good morning. That is my benometric something. Yes, that is it.
There were several people saying that's like their all-time favorite Sojourn. That's always going to be their Sojourn.
That song, it's a good one, isn't it? Yeah, Over the Rhine in general, I feel like has been one of the...
They've been very good to us.
They have done a nice job of writing songs for our soul.
Yeah.
All of which to say welcome. And if you are here, whether you are in the room and you navigated parking in other churches and hiking and falling down hills and all sorts of fun things to get here this morning, or you have just stayed in the safety of your home and logged on online, you have done everything that you are needing to do to belong in this space. That's it. You're breathing,
Yeah.
your fingers are moving, you're alive, and you belong here. It's that simple. And we're glad you're here. And we're going to sing another song. Is that what we're going to do?
Well,
It looks that way.
I think that's what we're going to do.
don't have a speaker on that side. It is what it is.
Who needs a speaker on that side?
Me, because I'm on this side, and I play the keyboard.
Okay, so that's a really good point. This is a good example of what privilege is, people.
Yeah,
I can
that's
hear this
exactly
speaker,
right.
so I don't understand that poor Benjamin doesn't have a speaker over here. Okay, we're done. Let's sing a song.
Yeah, no speaker.
It takes a little time sometimes to get your feet back on the ground. It takes a little time sometimes to get the Titanic turned back around. It takes a little time sometimes. Baby, you're not going down. It takes more than you got right now. So give it time. Voices are walking through my door. I've seen the look before. Sometimes on faces in the street, sometimes in the mirror looking back at me. You can't fix this pain with money. You can't rush a weary soul. You can't sweep it under the rug now, honey. It don't take a lot to know. It takes a little time sometimes. Get your feet back on the ground. It takes a little time sometimes. Get the Titanic turned back around. It takes a little time sometimes. Baby, you're not going down. It takes more than you got right now. So give it time. Oh, give it time. Yeah.
Well, it may not be over by morning. Rome wasn't built in a day. Can name that thing 1,000 times, and it won't make it go away. Let me put my arms around you and hold you while you weep. And talking, you know I'm sick of this talk. There's nothing that won't keep.
It takes a little time sometimes to get your feet back on the ground. It takes a little time sometimes. Get the Titanic turned back around. It takes a little time sometimes. Baby, you're not going down. It takes more than you got right now. So give it time. There's nothing wrong. Take a little bit longer. Some of us need a little more time.
It takes time, my friend.
Give yourself a little more time.
Oh, it takes time, my friend.
Give yourself a little more time.
Hi, Colby Martin.
What's up, Kate Christensen? We could do this really quick. Are you
I think
okay if
this
I
is the
put
face.
you all just on
Yeah.
real quick? Okay, so we're just gonna show.
Everybody give consent.
We're gonna show our little crew here this morning. Hey, everybody
the
say
back of the
hi.
studio.
So that can be you if you. Great, there it was. That's all. So
I was
anyway.
so scared you were going to kill the whole live stream when you did that.
I know. Quick, unplug the phone just in case. All right. Remember the days when the live stream would just stop all the time?
Sure do.
Somebody find wood. Knock.
On our last...
Lots. It counts.
Why did
So this
you
is your
just
first...
say that sentence?
I don't know. I can't remember the sentence I said. I lost you for a second. I'm like, what did I say?
Somebody find some wood.
And knock.
This is not real wood, I don't think.
That's what I'm saying. Is finding real wood is hard.
On our last Sunday, we should have like a compilation of all the stages of this virtual. Even I will see a picture sometimes come up in my memories thing and be like, that's what virtual church looked like? I forgot about that stage. We've had this studio in so many different ways, and none of you all probably would notice because it's mostly...
I still had my giant Thanos beard.
Ew, did you really?
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I just wanted to see if I could do it. And I thought it was cool. You know me, always trying to be cool.
Anyway.
That was pre-40 Colby. Now I don't care about cool.
Neat.
I just am. No, anyway, collective conversation.
I pre-pulled cards this morning.
A little PPC going on.
I don't know. I just didn't feel like doing the whole, have we done this one? Blah, 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 blah. So I pre-pulled cards, and here we go.
Great. Question numero uno. Let us know in the nailed it. Let us know in the comment section your response to the following.
Something people often misunderstand about me. As I'm doing this, I'm like, I think we've done this already. Whatever.
Something people often misunderstand about me. Gosh, I went real self-deprecating real fast with this one. I don't know that that's the vibe we're going for. People often misunderstand.
Hi, Joey. Are you coming some week? Hi.
Oh, yeah.
I hope
He signed
so.
up for today, but must have missed him.
Sorry,
missed
we
him this
missed
time.
you.
What's something people often misunderstand about you?
Well, so I feel like this is a terrible question for an Enneagram 4 because they just want to say everything.
Everything you think you know about me is wrong. Please know me.
But to narrow that down, I think, 100%.
You can't
yes.
know me. Why don't you know me?
Yes, truth. And I think the entire Enneagram is an exercise in this. I think each of the things that make an Enneagram type, sorry I'm going Enneagram on this, but each of the things that make the type, we misunderstand, right? So, people think that I enjoy being, miserable or sad or, staying in low feelings, and I don't enjoy that. I actually would prefer to never be sad, personally.
I like that.
So that.
I like that.
Just because I'm good at naming when something is sad does not mean I enjoy being sad.
Thank
you.
Yeah. Well, I think one thing that comes up is that people, and I think over the last couple.
Sorry.
No, you're
I
fine.
got really excited about
we can respond to some people. Acting
Ben and I were
confident
just voice
is not the
messaging
same as
each other
being
about
confident.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. But you know how we've over the last couple of years sort of stepped back from the whole world of introvert extrovert as though, are these really things? How helpful is this really?
Yes.
But if we step back into that for a second, people often misunderstand and they think I'm a real people person, extrovert.
Yeah. Because
I've just always been in a public performance space of some sort. So people think that I'm
Yo, weirdo.
an extrovert, that I'm an ancient immortal sorcerer silently working in the shadows to bring balance to. So they think that about you, or they don't know that about you. Okay, got it. That's who you really are.
Misunderstanding is happening in real time.
Yeah, right now I'm being misunderstood.
Oh, I like this. I like that summary.
Not lonely when I'm alone. Yeah.
That's connected to that introvert, extrovert.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're more of an introvert than anyone I've ever met, and yet people see you as not that because of how much you are a leader and a strong personality, and therefore you must enjoy being in this room with all these people for so long. Whereas Colby's like,
I can work a room. I'm just dying inside.
yeah. Yeah. Our poor introverted leaders. And I feel like so many leader people are introverted. Glennon used to talk about that all the time on tours. Yeah. People who go on book tours and like stand in those lines and talk. Glendon used to say that all the time. She stands and I've been to her events and she stands there and talks to people the whole time and then like goes home and dies. Yeah, it's wild.
My dad says he could tell that about his
Oh, you're like.
Told my psychiatrist that I feel a certain amount of miserable is okay because it's at least congruent with the state of the world. He replied, no. no.
Percy, I am dying. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Did you read that, Ben?
What if both the world and you are not supposed to be okay with miserable?
Oh my God.
I really love that. That's fantastic.
Well, Shane, you know what? That's because you and I are the same person.
People
You
misunderstand
identify
about me.
as an Enneagram 4? You do, right, Shane? I can't remember, but you should
compared to
because you're me.
Yeah, Shane gives off strong 4 vibes. Always has. I do not really feel like a people person unless I'm with my close people.
Oh, people. Okay, I get this, Susan. Yes, I think Karen and I have this too. That you're sad when you cry, but you're like, I just cry about everything.
Yeah.
Just because I'm crying doesn't mean I'm sad. Totally. Oh, Sammy, I love that. A lot of the people in the house today have.
I don't know that I can be very shy. Ever since I was a little kid, I was shy, and it's something I have to actively work at. Yeah.
So I love that.
She's like, don't put that up there.
Sorry.
Wait, no, hold on.
To the shy person, I'm like, hey, everybody, let's all look at you.
Get the camera back out again.
But I
Zoom
love
in.
this because I feel like our son Huck is very similar to Sammy in personality. Not to go to the Enneagram type again. But I have to explain. I just had a whole meeting with Huck's teacher. I had to explain this. I'm like, you don't understand. He's so shy. And she's like, does not compute. Like, there's just something about strong personalities that it's hard for us to understand that other things exist about them, you know? It's like, yeah, also shy. They think I'm organized, but they don't realize I have a Judy.
That's funny. I like that.
Same reason.
I was gonna say, can you relate?
Your daughter is like, yes, that too. Yeah. See, here's the thing. I feel like all of yes, a 4, Shane says. I feel you on this. I don't know what I was about to say. Anyway, let's go to the next card. Yeah.
This one's upside down.
Oh, this is interesting. Sorry, I stole the mouse from you. I wanted to put Lisa's comment up really quick. Sorry, now you can have it.
Very social, even though people think I'm introverted.
Yeah, I like the opposite of what we've been saying.
Okay, here's the next question. I'm irrational when it comes to...
Self-awareness.
I'm irrational when it comes to people not liking the same TV shows or movies that I like.
Yes, you freaking are.
Self-awareness. Very good.
I get real irrational.
I'm sorry.
I lose all subjectivity. I'm like, no, this is objectively good. What is that? What's wrong with you? This is a you problem.
I think you're like that about art in general. You're like, if it's good to me, it must just be good.
Yeah. Beauty is in the eye of this beholder.
Yeah.
What are you irrational?
Tom, that's just on Facebook. You don't see the whole thing.
You should see our Twitch feed.
Shane.
Are you trying to sift through all these options for you?
No.
It was uncalled for. We only got a few more left of these. We got to get them in while we can. She's thinking this is the last time I invite you to collective conversation.
I haven't
It
done
probably
collective
is.
conversation with Colby in a while, and now I'm remembering why I always choose someone else. Just kidding. No, I was sifting through all the old comments because people always still respond to the last one, and there was some fun ones about that one, and so I was still reading those. Like I like Shane's. People think I'm smart, but honestly, I feel it's just mostly just guesswork and getting it right. And once again, I'm like, Shane and I are the same person. People are like, she's so wise. I'm like, nah, I just was guessing. Which maybe that's wisdom, being able to guess good. I don't know. Guessing with authority. Oh my gosh. Okay. Irrational.
Irrational about how time works? In what way?
It just always ensure we're going to be late to a thing that there's like no foreseeable chance of us being late to because we're making
Oh, Will. Will, are you like Monica from Friends? You just keep going when
Can't
you're
stop
sick.
and let myself rest. Yeah.
Knowing how many dogs is enough?
Simple answer to that.
And then Lisa, you're like, my cat or any pet I live with currently? Why are y'all irrational about your pets? Susan's just, oh, so many things. Cultural phenomenon.
I know I'm irrational about a lot of things, so let me keep thinking.
Oh,
here.
what does this mean, Cameron? I'm irrational when it comes to the cultural phenomenon that was Queer as Folk original U.S. version. What does that mean? Yeah, walk us through. What's your irrationality about that?
Because there was a new one and it just got canceled. I'm assuming it's not very good.
Like social media canceled or like network canceled? Okay.
Actually, this is interesting how many people are saying they're pets. I'm starting to realize this makes sense. I'm processing in real
You're
time.
irrational with animals.
That's why
You're like,
I'm catching on to this.
Tiger
makes
paw.
sense.
I would like to hold you.
Yeah, I don't make wise choices. And
Lion
Colby
mane.
could tell
I would
you.
like to pet you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then on the other side,
have video of
hummingbird.
myself.
You're going to poke my eye
Oh,
out.
yeah, so very irrational when it comes to animals. I run like my life is in danger when there's a hummingbird around. But I have video of myself with a rattlesnake's face right here, just talking to it. So I don't know. And you could tell stories about me with our kids at the zoo. It's not okay. I haven't made the best choices.
A monkey
You're
almost
rational.
ripped our son's head off one time.
Because of
you
me.
thought it would be fun to climb over the little barrier and go up and feed these monkeys leaves. And after like 3 leaves, the monkey reaches through the fence and grabs our son's head.
Sorry, it's not funny. It's funny.
So that happened.
They're all still here.
Yeah, they're fine. It worked out.
Yes, I have had to learn that whatever my thinking is about animals, stop, realize that's wrong, and do the opposite.
That's a good way to frame it. What's the thing you have to immediately question your judgment on? Oh, for me, that would be like lines at a supermarket. Whatever line I intuitively want to go to, I know that's going to be the longest one. Go to the next one. So I somehow always pick the longest
So it
line.
sounds like, Cameron, you just are very passionate about it. I launch into long explanations of how that show changed views of queer folk and life, and I still, 20 years later, quote the show.
Yeah. So similar to how
Passion.
I was saying, like maybe he was piggybacking off of that. Like, no, it's just an amazing thing. If you aren't all in on it, then what's wrong with
Topher.
you?
That's hilarious. That I have already bestowed legendary status on.
Yes,
Yeah, that's fine.
legendary. I like that.
Oh my gosh, Mercy. And you're responding to Susan, so what did Susan say? I can't find the original comment. But anyway, it's a long thread? Okay. I'm only catching the end of the long thread, but Mercy's response to it is amazing. And I relate to that comment. Can't force people into being nurtured. All right, one more?
Sure, one more.
We're gonna do this. It's happier. I don't want to end on the crappy one. See, I don't enjoy being sad.
Oh, this? Okay, great. The last time I felt free. ... The last time I felt free. I am set free. Oh, oh. Last time I felt free. I think what's coming up for me is the Pride Parade. When we marched in the Pride Parade. What was
We have
that?
some good video
8
footage
weeks
of
ago?
Colby feeling free at that Pride Parade.
Hell
Don't we,
yeah.
Ben?
Oh, so good. Yeah, that was a light, open, free experience for me. In part because I wasn't trapped in the car driving it like I had been for the previous 7 Pride Parades.
Yeah, thanks, Sammy. I was just gonna say, every time I ride a roller coaster or climb a tree, those are my free spaces, and I do them regularly.
The day you adopted, yeah?
Yeah.
Dad talking about you. Is Mercy's answer to this question? Up there? Is that Mercy, is that your response to the last
I
time
don't
you
know
felt
about
free?
Michelle's is funny.
Anytime there are no eyes on me. There are never no eyes on me. In
Mercy!
In utero, the last time I felt free. To quote your therapist, no.
Yeah, to quote your psychiatrist, no. The last 3 months, love to hear it.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Also, Crystal, love to hear it.
Good,
Ooh,
good.
Holly, love to hear
Paddleboarding.
it.
I am curious if I would enjoy that or not.
Gotta try
I've
it.
been yogaing the last 3 months. I might have the core balance strength now to be able to not fall over. Summer, who's here with us, and we're going to hear from in just a little bit, says here at Sojourn, feel free from religious dogma.
And then Ricardo, who's also here.
Oh, Ricardo, Black's Beach.
All right.
So for you non-San
We
Diego
about it,
people,
we about it.
Black's Beach is San Diego's clothing optional section of the Pacific Ocean.
Oh, and you were being creative.
It's good.
Love it, everyone.
Irma Jean, and she paid her final payment and no longer carried debt. That's gotta feel good.
I like Shane's splitting this into 2 different kinds.
What's that like?
Minorly free, listening to
some
music. Majorly free, listening to people talk about justice and truth and seeing people be authentic.
That's
I
cool.
love it.
I
All right,
like
my
that.
friends.
Minorly free. Was the music in a minor key?
I have to put Mark's as the final comment. Dude,
Moved in mid remodel and I had to shower on the patio. Okay, so well here you can go. That's fine. I'm just setting up this next segment. So after last week when we announced that we were winding this operation down, one of our longtime I almost said members, even though that's not really a phrase we use around here, but one of our longtime community folk immediately emailed Kate and myself and immediately sort of asked for a couple things. And one was, can we come to the virtual experiences? Like, can we come and be? So that's part of why y'all are here and why each of the next few weeks people will be here with us. And the other thing that this person suggested is there a way that we can invite people in the community to share basically their gratitude for this community, whether it's been 3 months or whether it's been 8.5 years. Can we give people the opportunity to express that, both so that they themselves can have a chance to express it, but then just as much so that the broader collective can hear how this place has changed people's lives. So we're going to call these moments of gratitude. And we've got 2 to share today. So the first moment of gratitude is going to come from an individual who's one of our virtual attendees from out in New York City. So I'm going to go to this, and then we'll see you back here in a little bit.
Colby and Kate. I know we've never gotten to meet each other in person, and we don't really know each other, but I love both of you wonderful humans so much. I remember how my experiences with anti-gay therapy and being preached hate to from a pulpit and the beatings I took and everything that shaped my perception of God and faith. I remember questioning all of that in 2017 and coming across a book named Unclobber. Then after reading what Colby wrote in the ending, that I am a loved child of God, I cried for hours. I remember having 1 or 1.5 bottles of wine and messaging Colby a piece of my story and how Unclobber really touched me, and I was met with so much love. Then, when I was planning a move out to San Diego, reaching out again to learn more about Sojourn Grace Collective, and once again, being met with so much compassion and love, unlike I had ever experienced from a Christian, and was invited into the Sojourn family via the Facebook Sanctuary group. I ended up staying in New York and relocating to the city, but Colby thought of me one day and asked if I got all settled in San Diego. Then I shared my news. However, after relocating to the city, the love I had experienced through messages and virtual church experiences, which I had attended several of, I kept questioning and meeting with more progressive pastors and asking my questions and letting my concerns and my heart be known. I finished a song and released it as a single, a song that I started writing in anti-gay therapy, but now it's a song of hope. I had to believe if Christians like you exist in this world, then I can begin to heal and I can begin to learn more about how to love. I've learned a lot from the two of you without ever meeting, and for that I thank you. I am writing this because I have heard about the winding down of Sojourn, and my heart breaks for you. My heart selfishly breaks for myself, who still had a goal of coming out to San Diego and getting to experience Sojourn Grace Collective in person for myself. Now, it's a coffee date, which I'm still okay with. But thank you so much for Sojourn Grace and simply for just existing. The love you two pour out into the world is needed, and it's infectious. And what you said is right. Sojourn Grace did not fail. You created a community of love, a community I still see continuing long after the physical church closes its doors at the end of October. You changed lives. The love I was shown by a stranger through Facebook and email exchanges changed me enough to continue questioning my stance on faith, but to also set boundaries with my heart and to not put myself back into an unhealthy and dangerous situation. You've helped change and shape this next chapter of my life. You both should be very proud of yourselves and everything that you've accomplished. Whatever comes next, I wish you nothing but all the love and happiness that life has to offer. And I know that you will both find peace with this soon. I know the entire Sojourn family will find peace with this soon. Much love. Thank you for everything. And remember, if you have breath, then you belong. Love you guys.
That's beautiful.
Sunday mornings held me in these walls. I can still smell the coffee in the halls. Safe in the place they kept for me. Home in the space of my sure belief. I was taught to give you what I know. Lead you in the way that you should go. Love what remains when I walk away. What do you keep when I couldn't stay? It took years to tie the truth around my fingers. Salvage all these sparks out of the cinders. Turning over tables for the love I couldn't leave. Little one, here's what I believe. You'll miss what you had to lose. You crave the last thing you choose. And once or twice you'll get it right. For every time you get it wrong, somehow it all belongs. Somehow it all belongs.
You will find the beauty in the light, the captivating shadow
And I will tie all these truths around your fingers, help you find the sparks among the cinders. I will turn over tables to defend the space for you to find your own way. You break what you try to keep. Come awake when you're fast asleep. The rhythm and the melody, silence and the song. Somehow it all belongs. Somehow it all belongs. There'll be grace on grace on grace on grace. There'll be grace on grace on grace. There will be grace on grace on grace. There will be grace. You'll pray like there's someone there. Learn to bend what you can't repair. And God, I hope you rock the boat till the river sways along. Somehow it all belongs. Somehow it all belongs.
Okay, well, you look right here. Okay. See, you can see us. Hello. Hi, Sojourn family. We want to give our little message of gratitude for all that this community has done for us. So when we heard the news that Sojourn Grace was closing its doors, we were heartbroken. We found Sojo just 6 months ago during a season of doubt and struggle in our faith. And this wonderful, accepting community has been our lifeline through this deconstruction from our old church. It's not easy saying goodbye, but we're so grateful for the time that we did get to spend with this church family.
But even though this may be the end of this incarnation of Sojo, this won't be the end of our spiritual journey. As Jesus said, when 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there I am in the midst of them. Sojourn's values are not fading. They live on in the hearts of everyone in the Sojourn family. Where 2 or 3 are gathered, there will always be safe spaces like this where all are welcomed and accepted.
That brought the room down. Every once in a while, Jesus makes an appearance in these services, and when he does, it's a beautiful thing. Thank you, Summer and Ricardo. I realized I forgot to put their names on the screen, but that was Summer and Ricardo. And, a beautiful addition to our collective. So glad our paths crossed. Yeah, they came to a bonfire, right? Was that what it was? Yeah. So fun. Okay, I got a quick little thing I want to share as we kind of wind this thing down. One of the things that I thought we could do in addition to these moments of gratitude is just kind of share here are the things that we've learned in 8 years. Here are the things that we've talked about. Here are some of the things that this we leave with you, kind of thing. And last week, Kate and I, in our announcement, we touched a little bit on how the first name of our church is Sojourn, which is pointing to the reality that life is a series of short stays, and we move and we evolve and we change and we grow, and this is just how life goes. And our middle name is Grace. And so I thought I would just share a little bit about what we've learned about Grace over these years, but I'm not going to try and reinvent the wheel. I went back and I'm like, man, we've given we didn't do it. I gave some great talks on grace over the years that I'm really proud of, that really, I think, speak to why Grace is our middle name. The first one was in June of 2014 when we just started meeting, like 3 months in. We just started meeting at an elementary school, and we were going through our name together that we'd just chosen. And we talked about a tent. And I had people come up kind of in the area where we gave the talks from, and people held up this big 4 corners of a sheet. And I talked about the idea of the metaphor of a tent, and that for many people in religious communities, the purpose of the tent is to protect and defend those who come in. So you have to look a certain way, think a certain way, talk a certain way, believe a certain way in order to come into the tent. And you have these gatekeepers that say only some people get to come into the tent. And then in reaction to that, there has been the effort by some to realize, well, that's not what we should be doing. We should be extending the tent. And we make the tent bigger to cover people who have been on the margins and people who have been outside of the tent for too long. But really, I think what Grace is inviting us to is the reality that the tent isn't even ours to begin with. It's not ours to protect and defend, and it's not ours to extend. The tent is God's, and as it turns out, everybody's in. The tent is over everybody all the time anyway. And so that's kind of how we started with this idea of grace. Then there was a time where I talked about grace as the idea where Jesus talked about being the good shepherd. And a good shepherd is one who wants well-being and flourishing for the sheep. Not just like make sure that the sheep is fed, and not just make sure that the sheep have, but actually wants what's best for the sheep. And this is grace to me, is wanting what is best, not what is fair or right or deserved. Grace is, well, no, we're not even going to talk. That is irrelevant. Grace is just wanting what is best for ourselves, for each other, for the world. Not what's fair, not what's right. And then the last thing I want to say about grace, and this is a little bit longer, is it starts with the story that many of us are familiar with. It's often called the story of the prodigal son, which is fine. I guess that's a fine title for this story. But I think it maybe buries the lead a little bit in terms of what the story really is about. But I think you know the story, right? There's a father who had 2 sons, and one son, the older one, was of the opinion that he had his father figured out. I got my dad on lock, this older son said. Like, I know what he wants, I know what he expects, I know how to make him happy, I know how to do everything right. And the older son did everything right. He followed the rules. He showed up. He worked hard, crossed all his T's and dotted all his I's. And then there was the younger son who had a slightly different takeaway on life. And for the younger son, he felt, I don't know, maybe like he'd been forgotten by his dad. Maybe he felt like he didn't matter. Maybe he felt unseen or uncared for. And actually, as I think about this story now, I realize, well, hold on. If we just sort of press pause and step back from this story, like a Disney movie, there's no mom. There's no mother in this story. So what if, Ben, this whole story is about how children respond to the trauma? What if this whole story is about different ways to respond to the trauma of losing a parent? All right, I'm going to have to think more about that and come back. Reinsert back into what I was going to say. So the younger son, he's just fed up with the whole thing, and he responds to the family dynamic by just saying, Dad, give me my share of the inheritance. Just pretend you have died, and I get my share of the inheritance, because I'm going to take off. And he leaves, and you know the story. He goes out, and he squanders it. We would say he wastes it. And maybe later on in life, he would look back and say that too. But at the time, right, we don't really see it as wasting it. Because I think what he was doing is he was trying to solve the internal sadness, the internal turmoil, the internal pain. He was trying to solve that by ordering and arranging his external world in such a way to as protect this thing in here. And it just unfortunately was spent in all the wrong ways, because that we really can't. You can't ever arrange your external world enough to fix what's in here. It won't ever work or last. And eventually he ran out of money, and he got to the point where he's like, I am literally eating like the food out of what the pigs eat. I know that even just being a hired hand for my dad would be better than this. And so he musters up the humility mixed with courage to go back home, and he rehearses the whole speech, how to apologize to his dad, how to grovel, how to beg to be let back in. Got the whole thing figured out. And you guys know how the story ends, right? The father doesn't even give his younger son the chance to launch into his speech, because the father sees him coming, and he runs out, and he throws a robe on him and puts a ring on his finger, and he embraces him. And I just imagine him, like, the son starting to get into his speech, and the father just, like, shutting him up. Like, no, I don't even want you to go. Like, don't even. Like, just shh. You're here. That's what matters. That's what matters. And then he throws a party, and everybody's invited to celebrate that the son has returned home. And if you remember the story, this infuriates the older brother, the one who had always done what was right. I mean, some of you are siblings in a multi-sibling family dynamic, and you can probably locate yourself in one of these two situations. And if you know what it's like to be the one that always does it right, and you might have a sibling that maybe chose other options, like, you can relate to this feeling of, WTF? Like, I have been here doing this thing the whole time. And I never even got, like, a goat to have a party with my friends. And yet my younger brother comes home and gets a whole party thrown just because he came home after wasting everything and putting us all through hell for years. Really? And he brings up these grievances to his dad. And his dad, if you remember the story, says to his son, in a way that could potentially be heard or seen or felt as rather condescending and patronizing, but I think is intended with compassion and sadness, that somehow his son had missed this the whole time. And parents, you know what that's like. Like, you could in your mind, again, do all the right things for your kids and do your best to meet all their needs, and yet they still grow up with this gap in their heart. And there's this moment where they share this gap, and you're like, I had no clue. And the dad says to his son, like, bud, everything I have is yours. It's always been yours. I'm not really sure how you missed it. And this is where I resent Jesus' brevity in his storytelling, because I feel like the father had actually more to say. I feel like the father probably took some responsibility there. Like, bud, I didn't realize how much pressure you must have been under to do the right thing all the time. I should have been more conscious of how you were constantly hustling, trying to earn belonging here. But I promise you, like, everything I have is yours. It's always been that way. I'm so sorry that you've missed that. Another time, Jesus just had this throwaway statement where he talked about the love of God being like the sun, being like the rain, indiscriminately pouring itself out onto everybody. The sun shines on the wicked and the righteous, the rain falls on the good and the evil. This is like the love of God. The younger brother, through his hedonistic actions, fueled by things like greed and lust and insecurity and grasping to try to feel some level of love in his life, he felt like he didn't deserve to be his father's son. I don't deserve to be your son. The older brother, in contrast, through his earnest actions, fueled by a sense of pride and maybe entitlement, he felt like he'd done more than enough to deserve being his father's son. And I think these are programs that often run in the background of our minds. The operating system of our consciousness comes preloaded with this idea that the universe somehow plays favorites, that if you do everything right, good will come to you, and if you do things wrong, bad will fall to you. And like the friends of the Old Testament character Job, we often assume that if we're getting lots of bad stuff in life, it must be because we've somehow pissed God off. And I think this is what the older brother might be thinking, that his younger brother cheated the system, and yet now he seems to be rewarded for it. Again, if you're an older brother in this situation, you have worked hard, you've played your cards right, just hoping one day your dad's going to see you and reward you. And you watch as your younger brother, think about him, thinking he needed to grovel at his father's feet, thinking he needed to plead for forgiveness. But I'm sure he was preparing himself for a very reasonable response of, I'm sorry, son, this is the bed you made. Time to lay in it. I think sometimes we think we can earn more love by making all the right choices. Of course I deserve to be your son because I'm awesome. And other times I think we believe we'll get less love when we make poor choices. I don't deserve to be your son because I'm awful. And I think what can be said is that both brothers either struggled to believe or simply had not yet understood what it meant for their father to just love them. Always. Without condition. And I think both of these postures fail. I've earned love because I'm awesome. I don't deserve love because I'm awful. Both of these postures fall short because they're both playing the deserve game. I do deserve it. I don't deserve it. And my experience in life and my understanding of reality and my belief in God is that God has no interest in the deserve game. Zero interest in the deserve game. And this is my final word about grace, is that I think grace dissolves deserve. Dissolves it. Grace opts out of the deserve game altogether. It replaces the posture of I'm too awful to be loved or I'm too awesome not to be loved. It replaces it with the posture that just says, wow, I am loved. How amazing is that? Ooh, Amazing Grace. Ben, write that down. That could be the title for a song. So for 8.5 years, we've been a community that has been founded on this value of grace. It's our middle name. We've been all about the grace. No trouble. I'm dropping them all and getting them all out. I only got a few weeks left to get it all out of my system. We've been a community founded on grace because we live in a world, and many of us come from a religion that plays the deserve game. Got to do all the things right. You got to believe all the right things. You got to not do some behaviors and definitely do other things. But grace, I don't know, man. Grace comes to this religious idea that we have to be reconciled back to God. You remember this? Be reconciled to God. We were told that we were separated from God. We were told that we have somehow put distance between ourselves and God because of our iniquities. And so we're told we need to be reconciled to God. But grace comes along and says, okay. If you want to be reconciled to God, listen up. Here's how you do it. But I'm telling you, it's so simple and it's so easy. You may not believe me. Grace says, you may not believe me. This probably sounds too good to be true, and oftentimes things are. But it's pretty good news. Because grace says, if you want to be reconciled to God, here's how you do it. You just wake up to the reality you were never separated to begin with. There you are. You're now reconciled to God. Just waking up to the fact that you don't need to be. It's kind of like how mindfulness meditation, where you pay attention to your breath, that's not what kickstarts your breathing. You've been breathing the whole time. Mindfulness meditation just tunes you into, oh yeah. So this is grace. For this is grace. opts out of the deserve game altogether. I'm going to invite Matthew and Ben and Karen to come share one last song. And as they do, I'm going to close with this extended quote from Paul Tillich's book, The Shaking of the Foundation. And he writes this: "Grace strikes us when we are in great pain and restlessness. It strikes us when we walk through the dark valley of a meaningless and empty life. It strikes us when we feel that our separation is deeper than usual because we have violated another person's life, a life that we loved or from which we were estranged. Grace strikes us when our disgust for our own being, our indifference, our weakness, our hostility, and our lack of direction and composure have become intolerable to us. Grace strikes us when year after year the longed-for perfection of life does not appear, when the old compulsions reign within us as they have for decades. When despair destroys all joy and courage. Sometimes at that moment, a wave of light breaks into our darkness. And it is as though a voice were saying, "You are accepted. You are accepted. Accepted by that which is greater than you, and the name of which you do not know. Do not ask for the name now, perhaps you will find it later. Do not try to do anything now. Perhaps later you will do. Do not seek for anything, do not perform anything, do not even intend anything. Simply accept the fact that you are accepted." And if that happens to us, we experience grace. And after such an experience, we may not be better than before. And we may not believe more than before. But everything is transformed. In that moment, grace, it conquers what we call sin, and reconciliation bridges the gulf of estrangement. And nothing is demanded of this experience, no religious or moral or intellectual presuppositions, nothing but acceptance. Accept the fact you are accepted.
It's been a while since I sat with you, without a knot in my chest. Oh, it's been a while since I wanted to. I always felt a little oppressed. Oh, it's been a while.
And it's been a while since I went ahead and let down my guard, 'cause I carry the weight of the words you said, and that makes it just a little bit hard to reject the lies you perpetuate. That you're not the keeper of the pearly gates. And it's been a while, but I'm coming back to fight for my place.
A good day to come back home. You sent me away, but I was never alone. You were afraid there was not enough, but you can't run out of love. So I'm here to stay, and I'm sitting in the front row. It's a good day to come out of the shadow. God made me good in every way, so I raise my voice to celebrate a good day.
been a while since I could admit there was something missing, but I've seen enough to know what love is and what love isn't. I'm not content to fade into the crowd. Let you decide who's in or out. So I'm coming back, 'cause I'm living proof that it all belongs without a doubt. Yeah, a good day to come back home. You sent me away, but I was never alone. You were afraid there was not enough, but you can't run out of love. So I'm here to stay, and I'm standing in the front row. It's a good day to come out of the shadow. God made me good in every way, so I raise my voice to celebrate a good day. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. It's a good day, nothing's gonna keep me out of the light. Now I'm not gonna hide, I got heart in the right place, covered in the good graces of an endless love. It's a good day, nothing's gonna keep me out of the light. I'm not gonna hide, I got a heart in the right place, covered in the good graces of an endless love. A good day to come back home. You sent me away, but I was never alone. You were afraid there was not enough, but you can't run out of love. So I'm here to stay, and I'm dancing in the front row. It's a good day to come out of the shadow. God made me good in every way, so I raise my voice to celebrate a good day. Yes, I will. It's a good day, nothing's gonna keep me out of the light. I'm not gonna hide, I got a heart in the right place, covered in the good graces of an endless love. It's a good day, nothing's gonna keep me out of the light. I'm not gonna hide, I got a heart in the right place, covered in the good graces of an endless love.
Vegan cookies.
So for our communion today, our dear friend Shauna sent us a box of Maya's gourmet vegan love cookies.
And Kleenex. Shauna sent us cookies and Kleenex.
And Kleenex, that's true. Cookie. Okay, from back to front. Ooh, I've got a pumpkin spice chocolate chip. Snickerdoodle, it's probably the one Kate's gonna grab.
Always the one
Famous everything.
Famous everything?
Famous everything.
The bagel. Ew. That doesn't sound like a good cookie.
Caramel, and then here's a good debate. Is it pecan or pecan?
Pecan.
Pecan.
See, instantly we're all just...
Fight.
I'll just go with pecan.
Hello,
A caramel
Carolina.
pecan. Then there's
That's the pronunciation we've all been missing.
it's the third way. Marble, and then classic chocolate chip, and then in bag goes a gluten-free white chocolate machine from Name Me a Nut. Okay.
Wow.
So anyway,
Thanks, Shauna.
Thank you, Sean.
do y'all want to pick one?
Pumpkin chocolate chip.
Pumpkin
I don't
chocolate
need
chip?
a whole
Coming at you?
cookie.
Yeah, you can just take it. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Wow.
That's a giant
Don't
cookie.
think too much
Should
about
all
that.
share with the round the room. So
Yeah,
everybody
feel
can-
free to grab some.
Yeah.
Is that the caramel peckin
We'll
right there?
pass them.
Caramel peckin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
it.
Look at those giant peckins. I'm also gonna do.
The marble one.
No, where's the pumpkin? Pumpkin chocolate chip.
Pumpkin one.
All right.
Here, Ben, you want to pass this box?
That's the box around.
How is it? Yummy.
Remember how we used
Wait,
to
where did
pass
my-
communion
You
in
put it
trays
back in the
of
box. Do you
old
want some
I
of my
did.
marble
I
cookie?
just took a piece off and put it back
Yeah,
in there.
you did. I watched you do it, and I didn't save you. I'm sorry.
I didn't save
But I'll
you.
share
I,
my cookie.
I watched you do it and I didn't
I
save
pre-broke
you.
somebody else's communion for them. All right, take and eat the element.
I got a baby in my arms and a snickerdoodle in my mouth. This is my heaven.
Heaven.
Communion is delicious.
What else could heaven be?
Yeah,
Don't even
what
miss
else?
the gluten.
Or the animal byproduct.
I miss the butter a little.
Well, now that you mention it, as soon as you said that, I'm like, missed it.
But
Lisa's got bread and seed challah bread.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Hello.
bread and cheese is my
Green tea.
favorite.
I don't have anything to
Rose
drink.
City.
Same.
I don't have anything to
Is it a local thing?
Thanks, Topher.
Yeah, they're in Hillcrest.
No, I know where they are. I'm just saying, is it a big chain or is it
Oh, I
like?
think
think
they're
so.
no. They're like a
Let's go to bread
independent.
and cheese and get sandwiches today.
All right.
Okay, great. Good plan.
Oh, yummy.
Popcorn and
You wanna
Dr.
try this
Pepper.
It's a different kind.
Is it a multi? It's a
I really
multi-challah
wanted
bread.
Dr. Pepper.
Cheddar veggie puffs and water.
I had jalapeno veggie
None of us
sticks
have a
at the
drink,
shelves
so
yesterday.
Delicious cookies.
if you have a drink,
No.
now would be the time to take your drink.
Watered down coffee.
Lucky.
I think I'm all out.
I'm just gonna go with saliva this morning.
You what?
I went with saliva.
Maya's cookies and saliva.
It's always there, always available.
Yum.
It's Grace, baby, always available.
Grace's saliva is not a good T-shirt.
All right,
Oh my gosh.
we've got one house note. That's great.
Which is just that you can come join us.
Yeah, you can come join us. So if you would like to be one of the, there's a limit, there's a cap, but we've been having people sign up and RSVP for all of the Sundays in October. So some of those spots have already been taken, but feel free to go to sojourngrace.com/in-person-virch or
Cold,
any
look
of the
what
links
Alexa
in your email.
has. Do you know what that is?
A kicker. Oh, from Dutch Bros.
That's my favorite drink.
Yeah,
Dutch
because we
Bros.
have one now. I forgot that that was a thing. Aw,
So
neat.
if you want to join us for at least one, if not more, but we're, whatever.
Can I make a note on the note?
Yes.
The note on the note is just that, and in addition to, like, if you can't hang out on Sunday mornings, there are things happening during the week in person with some of us that you can come and be part of, and those are, we're trying to funnel them into the sanctuary as much as we can. So
But
if you hang out
follow
there,
these people online
but
and then
follow
you'll
us because
know.
like we've got, there's drag queen karaoke every Wednesday. We've got a worship night coming out at Oceanside Sanctuary if you're in North County that you can come out. We love those guys a lot, and we'd love to like be there to introduce you to them. They're great humans. So just watch
They go
the
on our
sanctuary.
resources page, right, Karen?
I certainly hope so. They certainly should. But yeah, so just watch the sanctuary for those things because if you are craving that in-person connection, it's there for you. It is there. So please come out and say hello.
On the very last writers' round, which is at Park and Rec, because we're in a break right now, one of the Sojourn people came out and read one of their poems. Ren came out.
Really?
Yeah.
That happened?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Listen, I'm telling you, it's a good
That's
time.
pretty cool.
Come and play.
Someone this
Come
morning
and
said
play.
something about where 2 or 3 are gathered.
That's right.
That's right.
So,
And we will be gathering.
Crystal, absolutely. That's right.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Come hang out.
Also, you
And-
can seem creepy if you want to. That's fine.
and before I forget, Susan, you reminded me that yes, this property is accessible if someone could drive down
Yes.
and do a drop off right here on ground level and then
Yeah.
go park somewhere
Absolutely.
else. So that is totally an option. I told people it's a very steep driveway, but I forgot you could just
You
come
can drive
down
down.
and then do a drop off and then come up.
Yeah,
so.
and we can help with
Come
that.
get
too,
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like-
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, no, she's got a ride. She just asked if she can come down the driveway. I'm like,
But
oh,
for
yeah,
anybody else,
obviously.
even if you're driving yourself, like you can come drop yourself off. We'll go park your car. It's
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
If you have the will, we will find the way.
And Will lives in United
Where there's
Kingdom,
a will, there's a
so
way.
Hurry up, Will.
Oh,
Fly
yeah,
over
more
here.
Will jokes. Okay.
Speaking of Will
We should ask
jokes,
Will if those are okay.
This is our benediction.
Oh, yeah, we can do an in-person
This is the
version.
thing we say at the end
Someone
of
can just
every
yell it.
gathering.
Oh, yeah.
And
Someone
we're
can
going to
just
do
yell
it
it.
for the next 5 gatherings. This will be like this in communion is the thing we've done every single Sunday for 8.5
Okay,
years.
don't type it. There's people
Yeah,
here.
we're going to ignore your typing. So would someone in person lead us?
Be brave.
Because
you're a child of God.
Be kind.
Because
so is everyone else.
Oh, that was cool.
Love you. Have good weeks.
Yeah, remember how fun that is when it.